Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio. Welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. The tools you'll need for this repair, replacing the bracket and replacing the dispenser door cover, is a tack puller and a 1/4 inch nut driver.
Okay.
Alright, today we're looking at a Kenmore side-by-side refrigerator. Essentially the issue we're experiencing is when we push for ice, oh, I'm sorry, it's water, right? When we push for water, nothing happens. That can be a couple things, and we're going to explore a couple of them to see really what's causing the problem. And also inside, the customer is getting a lot of frost buildup inside of the door chute for the ice to come through. This type of frost buildup is a very good sign of a bad flapper door or a recessed door. It's the ice chute door flap that closes and keeps the warm air from the outside from getting into the freezer. We're going to take the front of this apart to find out why the water's not working, so we'll explore and change out that flapper while we're in there as well. So first thing you have to do to get this front cover off, it's the whole cover, is you have to remove the tray. Once the tray is removed, underneath here there are two spots where the plastic cover snaps into a plastic shroud underneath. What you want to do is use either a tack puller or a flathead screwdriver and put it under the lips, just barely a little bit under the lip, so that when you pop it off, it comes off of the actual housing as well, and you're not prying at the whole housing. Once you pop that loose, this cover will just come right on off. There are some wires behind that you'd want to disconnect so you can remove the cover plate. Once the cover plate is removed, you can now see on each side there's micro switches, and there's one micro switch is actually not connected. So that not being connected, what I would do to test is take a glass, set it where the water would go, and push in the micro switch, and it still no water. It sounds like the valve's coming on, so we're going to check one other thing. We're going to go underneath the front kick plate of the refrigerator. Okay, so as you push in the micro switch, if unlike this one, I push in the micro switch and it does nothing, it also can be not working now because I did disconnect the front panel. So what you may have to do is reconnect your front panel back on. So the power can cycle all the way through. Use your water glass and now depress your micro switch. And if you do that, you then get water. So what that tells me is that the micro switch is fine, the valve's fine. We have a problem with this housing, this bracket that holds the micro switches in place. So what we're going to do is replace that as well as the door underneath here. To show you the door, I'm going to remove this front cover, and it takes a 1/4 inch or a flat blade, and I'm going to remove that. Once you remove those two screws, it'll just tilt out for you. Tilt it out. It's now where, oh, there went a broken piece. The reason why I was pulling that forward is because I want to show you that right under here is the door chute. This black part right here is what I'm looking to replace. It's basically got a tab on each side. If you open the door up, you can push one of the tabs over and the door will come off. Once you remove the flapper door, you'll then see that on the old one, the styrofoam is all worn away. That's going to let air into the freezer all the time. If you look at the new one, there's no worn out pieces. This one also has a heater attached to it. They don't use that anymore, so the replacement part is just another door cover which clips on with the same 2 clips once you get it back up in place. Okay, well now that we have the recessed door replaced, what we're going to do now is replace the bracket that goes over the front. This bracket, in putting it on, you'll notice it has tabs and pins sticking out. That's where both the micro switches mount onto. It also has a spot for a light, and this one has a spot for an additional feature that is not part of this specific unit. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the micro switches over, reattach the wires in the light housing, and get the repair finished up.
You got the right guy on it.
On the old bracket, there was a light switch, light socket that was in here. It's pushed all the way in, and when it's in there, it has a tab on each side. You just push the tab in, and then it should just proceed to come out for you once the tabs have been pushed in. And then just to remount it, you're just going to take, and it's just going to push right back through the new one and clip itself in place. Plug the wires back in. Reattach your front cover. Now when you're putting the front cover back on, there are little spots up top where there's little clips that it hangs off of. So once you get it back in place, how it goes, it'll set down, it'll hang on those clips once the clips are in place. When you go to push the bottom on, it may not just push on. Sometimes it does. Just give it a little tap and let it secure itself back on. Slide your water cover back in. Take your glass and get some water back out. That concludes our repair for the day. Thank you for watching another quality video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.